Broadcasting live from somewhere in the great upper Midwest and beaming directly to you worldwide. This is Night Talks Radio.
With me, riding on the highway, making plans that are free, ringing on the doorbell to my girlfriend's house. Town is not even noon. I haven't met a stranger in a long, long time. Haven't kissed one either, but now is the time. 'Cause I'm a believer. Open house, don't care about good or evil, drinking coke and rum.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone's having a wonderful night there. Daniel Brewer will be with us here shortly. Well, we have a great show in store for you.
I'm here, everybody.
All right, there he is.
You know what? This mic ain't going to get me anymore, I'll tell you what.
No.
I know exactly what to do. I'm prepared every single moment now.
Yeah, just put me on the spot and have me start it right away. That's what you do
right.
there.
When I give you that pointed finger, you know what's up.
Oh yes, I don't want to be grounded again.
So, today is Labor Day, of course. Well, Labor Day night. What do we have on tap for our Night Talks radio listeners, Jennifer?
Well, tonight we have, it's called American Paranormal, where Cheryl Holland and her husband Darren are going to speak about Cheryl's experiences with the paranormal and the unusual.
So just a straight up normal person.
Yes, she is just a normal person. She just is a paranormal enthusiast.
So American Paranormal, like American Pie. This is just a mid-American paranormal story.
Yes, and actually, coming up with that title, Daniel, I'd have to give you props on that. I'd have to give you a high five and a clap on that.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Because it actually fits really good.
Well, perfect. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I guess we could probably get the guest on the lines, huh?
Yes, we can certainly go ahead and get her on the line.
All right, I think we should do that. All right, Cheryl, are you there?
I am. How are you guys?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Jennifer, how
I'm
you
doing wonderful. Thank you for asking, Sharon. Cheryl.
Oh, Sharon. Jeez.
Sharon.
You're fired.
I am fired.
You're fired immediately.
Whoops.
Anyway, how is it going with you tonight? Everything going well?
Yeah, everything's perfect. I was just watching some TV, just waiting to get on, talking to you guys.
There you
Excited.
go.
Well, you
Say-
you are officially on now.
Say, Daniel, if
Yes.
you're firing me for saying Sharon, I can fire you for calling Daryl last night.
Oh, well, nobody heard that.
You know, this Cheryl, Darren, you know, it gets a little confusing sometimes.
But, Cheryl, so you are here to talk about your paranormal experiences that you had when you were younger and growing up. Is that correct?
Yes, actually. I'm by no means an expert. Just an average person interested in paranormal.
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly, how did this all kick off for you? Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay. Well, the house that I grew up in, which was my grandmother's house
Okay.
in South Philadelphia, my grandfather passed away before I ever got to know him. So my sister knew him more than I ever did.
Your
Okay.
grandfather.
So I was in like grade school, I would say about 5th or 6th grade. One day, we got home from school a little bit early, and we heard some noises up in my mother's room because she had taken over the main bedroom. And, you know, she rearranged the furniture to her liking. My grandfather
Right.
used to sit in this rocking chair overlooking the front of the street where all the kids would play. And that was what he used to do. He used to love watching the kids playing outside.
Oh, wow.
So we heard some noises upstairs, and my sister and I went upstairs. My grandmother came up with us, and she's like, "Oh, it's just your grandfather." So we were like, "What?"
Right.
We looked. Yeah, so we looked in the bedroom, and my mother had the rocking chair on the far side of the wall next to the bathroom, and the front of the house had the windows. So the rocking chair was actually moved from where she had it to sitting in front of the windows, rocking back and forth.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think I'll
Yeah.
ever sit in a rocking chair again.
That's slightly
So,
spooky.
yeah, that was kind of like, what was like, wow, you know, that made me think, my goodness, that was kind of interesting.
Right.
I wasn't scared, but that was my first brush with the paranormal. And, you know, having animals as well, you always tend to watch something move across the room and you can't see it. So
Right.
Right.
that kind of got me thinking too. But, you know, as a child, you don't really think much about it. Oh, it happened, and go about your day.
Right.
And then about a year later, I had a couple of friends over down our basement. We had this huge stereo console. I don't know if you guys remember those. They were like a big cabinet.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the wood cabinets
player,
and
Yeah,
whatnot.
my parents still have one to
Yep.
this day.
I'll tell you what,
Oh,
they made the best sound, best speakers, folks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So we have one of those down our basement, and my friends and I were listening to our records, and my mom called us up to go to the store for her. So we left everything the way it was supposed to be. When we got back, we can just go right back to listening to the records.
Right.
When we got back to the store and went back downstairs, everything was shut off, the console was closed, our records were put away, but nobody went down the basement to do it.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Did
Just
Grandpa
Yeah.
not like what you
magically
were?
cleaned up.
Did Grandpa not like what you were listening to, or what?
My goodness.
I don't know. It was 80s pop music, so probably not.
Okay, so okay, that happened. That, like I said, that's a little spooky. Well,
Yeah. Do you think that was your grandfather who did it, or do you think there's another a paranormal entity in your?
yeah, that's what I was going to
house?
ask as well. Yeah,
Oh,
do you
there
think
you
it's
go.
your
Great
your
minds think alike.
Yeah, you think it was your grandfather or possibly another entity maybe in the house?
You know, I don't really know. I never really got any other vibes that it could be anybody else but my
Okay.
grandfather. You know, my sister would tell me often that, you know, Grandpa will come sit at the end of her bed at night sometimes. She always felt comforted by it. So, I mean, I never saw him.
But she saw him.
You know, I don't, huh?
She saw him.
She did tell me a couple times that she did see him at night at the end of her bed.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Now during this time period, there was no aggressiveness or anything like that. You said it was
Absolutely.
more comforting and things of that nature.
Yeah, it was more of a safe feeling. You know, it wasn't anything spooky or scary or anything like that. It was just comforting.
Okay.
He was probably just there to say hello and making sure that everyone was okay,
Protection.
Yep,
Protection.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, there's things that they actually need to accomplish before they actually truly move on. So,
Right. And maybe he wanted to make sure that, Grandma was okay and
there
everything,
was a
and along
specific
with
purpose.
the family was okay. And
Maybe he needed to watch you or your sister or whatever have
maybe
you.
he wanted to meet you.
Yeah, so
Maybe, I don't know. I never got to talk to him, so I never got to
Right,
see him or
yeah.
anything. But
could be multiple
it
reasons.
never frightened me.
Well,
Okay.
that's good. That's good. So then, to that time that you saw your grandfather, you said now you were in 3rd grade or 5th grade?
I never actually saw him. I saw the rocking chair move.
Right,
but,
right. You saw the presence.
I want to say about 5th or 6th grade, so it's probably 11 or 12, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
From then on, did you start kind of researching the paranormal, or did you wait until you were a little bit older?
A little bit older. I always liked watching scary movies, but I never really got into the paranormal until I was probably in my mid-20s, I want to say. I actually would go out.
Tell them what your first movie was.
Oh, boy. Hi, Darren.
Hey, there's Darren.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Dan.
Well, my very first scary movie I saw was in 2nd grade, and, that was probably way too young to go see this movie, but it was called It's Alive. And
It's Alive.
it was basically a
Yes,
movie about a
yes.
deformed baby that went on a killing rampage.
Yes.
Oh.
Not a good movie to see in 2nd grade.
Right.
I always was, I love scary movies, so I don't know if that kind of leans towards my paranormal liking as well, but scary movies are awesome for me. But I didn't actually go into actual, some form of structured paranormal, research type stuff until I was in my mid-20s, I want to say, going out with a digital camera and not a digital recorder. Back then they were cassette recorders.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah.
You love scary movies. And what's the one you won't watch?
Oh.
I will not watch The Exorcist anymore.
The Exorcist.
Yes, and
Many
you
people.
have a reason behind that, don't you, Cheryl?
I have, yes, I do.
What's that? I
Can
didn't
you go
know about
ahead and
this one.
share that with us?
Yeah, I can.
What happened there?
I used to have a friend who was a self-proclaimed dark witch or warlock,
Right.
Oh.
and he would be able to bring spirits into his body, I guess you would say,
Oh my gosh.
willingly, and a couple times he pulled in something that I was not very happy with, and I don't talk
Really?
to him anymore. So, yeah, I don't watch that movie anymore because it's too close to home.
Wow.
Saw some
Like
things I didn't want to see.
I totally understand that now.
So can you explain a little bit what happened to your friend when he pulled in that dynamic activity?
Well, he called it Astaroth. And basically, if you look into what demon that is, it is a demon, one of the higher echelons of hell, so to say.
Yeah.
And it just was not very fun for me. Yeah, what I saw was not my friend at all anymore, and I was like, nope, don't want to deal with that. See
You
ya.
know,
Oh, my goodness.
I have a quick similar story. When I was younger, my mother, we were a little bit down on our luck and stuff, and financially and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
And she ended up going to somebody's home that they proclaimed that they were sort of like
Witchcraft,
into witchcraft, witches and whatnot.
Mhm.
And she had mentioned to me that the house that she went to was literally like on a hill.
House
very
on haunted
spooky,
hill.
with like a crescent moon in the background, and like a single dead tree in the front yard.
Oh, wow.
And so I go, okay, and she goes in there, and she said there was this big long table.
Did the woman have
Okay.
a marble eye?
No, she didn't have
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so there was a big, long sort of dining table, and there was 8 women that were sitting at the table, okay?
Oh, that's a cult.
And I said, that's the first thing I said, I didn't sound weird about this. And they told my mother to sit down. She was at the very front of the table. And they had explained some things to her, and they ended up giving her a bag.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
like a little bag, like, you know, if you play D&D, like a little
Pandora's box?
you know, like a little bag to put your dice in. So, and they told her that if she put that underneath her pillow at night for 2 weeks, that good luck and fortune would come to her.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
But they told her as she was leaving that whatever you do, do not open the bag. Okay.
So like a juju bag?
Yeah.
way.
So she brings it home, you know, and obviously I heard the story, and you know she slept with it underneath her pillow for a good 2 weeks or so, and it got to be, you know, about 3 weeks, and of course, you know, nothing was happening. You know, she didn't win the lottery. There's no extra money, so my mom is kind of, you know, investigatory. So what does she do? She opens the bag, and I go, well, I'm not sure if that's a very good idea or not, but she did it anyway.
Oh, boy.
And she discovered that it was similar to like incense.
Okay.
Okay, it smelled like incense, with little wood chips and whatnot.
Not too harmful.
And not harmful at all. So, and then she put it, you know, on the counter in the kitchen. So that night when we were sleeping, about 2 o'clock in the morning, we had a neighbor who had a motorcycle. Okay, and sometimes this guy would be an ass, and he would rev his motorcycle up, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, we haven't been there before.
Yeah, we've had that incident happen to us quite a few times. But anyway, this was when I was down there. It was my mom. But so I was woken up by that sound, and I thought it was him again, you know, revving his bike up.
Right.
Well, as I slowly woke up and started coming to, I started to realize that it was getting extremely loud, like louder than like a motorcycle.
Like you were getting close to it. In a way.
As if it was the sound was coming into the house.
Oh boy!
And then I realized as I was waking up more that it wasn't the sound of a motorcycle. It was the sound.
It was a growl.
It was the sound of a snorting pig. Like a hog.
No.
Like a giant hog. And I got up because I was completely baffled. I'm like, what in God's name? And it was getting so loud that I literally had to start to cover my ears. So I went out into the main hallway, and my mother was sleeping on the futon, okay, in the living room. And as soon as I flipped the hallway light on, the sound instantly stopped. Okay, and I was looking at my mother
like
at
you
the same.
Spooked it.
Yeah, like a spook, and like it went away as soon as the light came on.
Oh wow!
And my mom was sitting up looking at me, and she was pissed off because she thought I was by her head fucking around by putting my hand over her head and sort of looking like I was going to grab her face.
Oh, boy.
And I said, Mom, I just got up and turned this light on. I wasn't nowhere near you. I said, did you hear the pig? And she said, no. Why were you trying to grab my face? And so I said, I think I stayed the night at my buddy's house for like the next week. As a matter of fact,
I would.
But I started looking into the books and demonic spirits and whatnot. It turns out there is a pig lord.
Oh.
A demonic pig lord. Okay, that brings bad fortune and bad luck. Okay, and just loves to scare and horrify people.
Wow.
And I think by my mom opening that, she released the bad stuff. And this demon pig lord.
Oh, boy.
When these people told her, don't open that.
Right.
That was the thing to it. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What did she do with the bag?
I think after we kind of figured out, well, hey, this isn't normal. she took it to a like a garbage dump and threw it in a garbage dump, and nothing ever happened
she
after
didn't
that.
Bless the house or anything?
No, she didn't. But nothing happened after that. Once it was out of the house, nothing unusual happened.
Once it was out of the presence.
But
okay.
yeah, that was just the first night. There was a few other incidences too, but that first night was, I mean, it was a pig.
Oh wow, that kind of reminds me of like Pandora's box, because isn't it saying that Pandora like box has a whole bunch of spirits in it and stuff, and then if you release it, you know, it'll release havoc on you and everyone else around you type thing.
It certainly did. It was very similar. But
wow, that's scary. I do have a quick one here. I'll share with you here, Cheryl, and we'll get back to your story.
What's that?
One thing is that you guys all know, everyone listening, and you, Cheryl, I'm sure you know by now. That my dreams are very vivid, and they come true a lot of times, okay? And it's almost like the paranormal contacts me through my dreams and everything. Well, I had this this dream after my daughter was born, after my other daughter, not Mackenzie, but the other one. Anyway.
The other one.
I can't say, I mean, she would be what, the fifth one?
Yes.
The fifth one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was, Lionel was fifth.
Many old children.
The fourth.
Many old children.
She was the fourth one. Lionel was fifth.
Okay.
And Mackenzie's sixth. Okay, but anyway. Anyways, okay, so after I had the fifth child, or the fourth child, sorry. After I had the fourth child, I was laying back, and I wasn't in a full sleep or anything, in REM sleep or anything, but I had this dream or this vision that I was in a big white house, and this white house was like a farmhouse, 2-story farmhouse, and I had my fourth child with me. I'm not going to say her name, but you know.
Right.
Anyway, so she was laying in the crib upstairs, and I had heard noises, so I went downstairs, and as I was going downstairs, I heard it get louder and louder, and it was almost like a growl. Okay, so I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So then I ran back upstairs because she started screaming and crying just out of the blue. So I went out there and I checked on her and everything, and here I see the Virgin Mary up on top of my ceiling of my bedroom.
Spooky.
Right above my bed. And I'm like, oh, that's strange. I said, why is the Virgin Mary there, you know, and everything like that. I said, maybe I got to get out of this house. Something's going on.
Like, was it a light reflection or
no,
something?
No,
I mean,
it was
literally just like a painting or something?
No, it wasn't a painting. It was like an apparition of the Virgin Mary right above my bed.
Okay.
It was really scary, though. And so what happened is after I grabbed my daughter and I ran outside and everything like that, I kid you not, the whole entire house lifted up and sank right into a big, huge hole. And it looked literally like hell. It was so scary.
This was a dream?
This wasn't...
Okay, I was going to say, if that really happened...
No, but listen to
I'm
this.
breaking up with you.
This was a dream that happened to me. And then I kid you not, 2 weeks later, I was lost. I was going to find my friend's house out in the country because she had just moved there. And I got lost. And I pulled into the driveway of this big white house that was in my dream. I was like, holy shit.
Right. Yeah, I guess that would be spooky.
And it was abandoned too, you know, and stuff.
Right.
So it was even more spookier and everything. But it was exactly like in my dream and everything. So I hightailed out of there as quick as I could. I squealed my wheels and got out of there as quick as I could.
So basically, we all have very similar stories.
Yes.
And so speaking of which, let's continue.
Yeah, let's
with
go back
Cheryl.
to Cheryl. Sorry, Cheryl, but yes, go ahead.
So when you got into the paranormal, when you actually really started getting detailed about it, what did you do exactly? Was it reading books, talking to people? How did that really kick off?
Well, I started reading books on haunted houses and looking at the pictures that were in the books of ghost activity and things like that. And I thought, that's pretty cool. I'm not saying I would want to live in a haunted house, but, the idea of investigating, he would love to. But, I don't really know honestly when I started actually getting involved in doing paranormal investigating.
Right.
It was just I ended up finding friends that were into the same things as I was, and we would do impromptu ghost hunting in cemeteries in Philadelphia and outside of Philadelphia.
Right.
Friends of ours or friends of mine, we used to go away for like a weekend up at Eaglesmere, PA, and stay in a cabin, I guess you would say, that a bunch of us all across the U.S. would get together, and we would go up to Eaglesmere, Pennsylvania, which is where all the rich people used to go in the summertime, back in the day.
Yeah.
Very, very spiritually active place. As far as it's a spring-fed lake, the whole area is very beautiful, natural, wooded, and beautiful.
Okay.
The house that we stayed in used to be a farm, and the barn had burned down, so a lot of the wood was reclaimed from that barn fire.
Gotcha.
And that place that we stayed in was haunted.
Oh, wow.
We would go down to the cemetery in Eaglesmere and do some, impromptu ghost hunting in the cemetery there. We've gone to Laurel Hill Cemetery and did some ghost hunting there. So it was a bunch of people just getting together and having a good time. We've gone to Gettysburg doing ghost hunting. I did an overnight over at Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's just, we would just do our own thing. And, it was not very structured, not very regimented like you see on TV. But similar, but we would just go off and do our own thing and, see what we found and what we captured. If we captured anything, sometimes we didn't capture anything.
Right.
Sometimes we did capture things. So, yeah, it's just something that I used to do for fun.
What is the scariest thing that you have captured besides the dynamic taking over your friend?
I was grabbed once walking down a hill in a cemetery, and I was doing my cassette recorder as I was walking in, because there was no graves where I was walking, and you could hear, I don't know where the tape is now, but you could hear me saying, "Ooh, something just grabbed my ankle." And then when we got back to where we were staying and I played back the recording, you hear me say, "Ooh, something grabbed my ankle," and then something responded back saying, "I know."
Oh.
That was kind of creepy. But it was exciting, not so much scary, but I think everybody has a little bit of psychic ability in them.
Right.
Just a matter of how much you have, So sometimes you can actually, like, if I was going to a place and I felt kind of creepy, I wouldn't go in. I just wouldn't go in, because I didn't like the way it was, the vibes or whatever, But I've never really had, well, no, let me recount that.
Okay.
When I did the overnight at Eastern State Penitentiary, everything was fine. I got a couple of good EVPs of things being dragged when there's nobody there, things like that. But I didn't have any, photographic imagery or anything. But somehow, for some reason, even though you do your whole cleansing before and after you do your ghost hunting, and something followed me home. And it was just a feeling of in my bedroom being watched, it was just very uncomfortable in my bedroom.
Oh, wow.
After that.
Yeah.
But it only lasted about an hour or two, and I asked to go away to leave me alone so I can go to bed, and it finally did, and,
And you never had
that's
any more
it.
problem?
I'm sorry?
You never had any more problem?
With that specific thing?
No.
Okay. I've heard plenty of stories where apparitions and paranormal follow you home. That Eloise, where I used to live in southeastern Michigan, that place was extremely spooky, and I had a few friends that had mentioned they felt that things had followed them back home, and during the night they would have issues similar to that. Eventually it would go away, but I had my own adventures in St. Eloise, and
would they ever say goodbye or anything like that? Because normally when you come in presence with
no. These
not very
were
nice entity.
These were not nice.
I know,
They
but
wouldn't say
normally
goodbye.
it's just the
I'll put it that way.
it's just the same thing as if you open up the Ouija board. Okay, you have to say goodbye
Well,
in
yeah,
order to
I would
shut
imagine,
that Ouija
right.
board. Okay, that's the same thing with a bad entity. Is
Right.
you have to say goodbye in order for that entity to leave you alone.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, I like I said, I don't know if these entities from St. Eloise would even care for that. But
Well, they
anyway.
might not care for it, but it's supposed to be you know
Right.
to get them to leave you alone.
Right. Gotcha.
Generally.
Yeah.
So now,
I do not make it a practice of using a spirit board or a Ouija board or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
No. I have in the past.
No, you told Zach today not to get a Ouija board for his house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No.
what was
I
that?
Messing around with my son today. He bought a house and, you know, we were talking about paranormal stuff and he's like, I don't want to wish that stuff on myself. I'm like, nope, don't buy a Ouija board then. You know, you'll have no problem.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want.
Ouija boards are so bad. I mean, I wonder who came up with it in the first place. Was it a witch or a warlock or what the heck was it?
I have no
you know?
clue, to be honest with you.
Horrible. Horrible.
But yeah, I don't want one in my home.
No, not
I already
at
got
all.
enough problems.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. But,
So,
Yeah,
Cheryl.
you know, if you play with them, you know, just be careful. You
Right.
don't want to mess with that kind of stuff because if you're not knowing what you're doing, you can do all kinds of stuff.
yeah, that would be
to-
me. That would be me.
Yeah.
So, Cheryl.
But yeah, no, I stopped playing with those early on in my early 20s. I'm like, nope. For some reason, my friend had one that, you know, the Parker Brothers game Ouija board she bought. And she could never get it to work for her. But as soon as I would touch the planchette, it would start going off the charts. I'm like, nope.
Wow.
So like
No, thank
it literally moves.
Yes, it does.
Like it does it really?
Yes, it does.
Cheryl?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? See,
You're
I've never
right.
actually
You're right.
actually
You're
done
touching
it.
So you're hardly touching it, and it starts moving on your own.
Hold on,
Yeah.
read that, Cheryl.
It's
Wow.
it's almost like you're channeling the spirits in a way by touching the Ouija board.
That's not the Ouija board.
That's the Ouija board.
No, it's not.
What is-
Keep Googling, but it's not Ouija. It says wedgie.
Wedgie board.
Wedgie board.
The-
You guys are
Yeah.
not married at all, are you?
I could hear the.
Can you help?
It's the wish version of a Ouija board.
Yeah, there you go.
A wedgie board.
A wedgie board. Everyone go out and buy a wedgie board and see what it's all about and let us know.
On sale on Wish for $1.67.
Right.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
The reading glasses, and he couldn't see that.
Just don't have any underwear nearby because you might get a wedgie.
Demonic underwear, can you imagine? But go ahead, Cheryl. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So,
I was going with my Ouija board experience.
yeah, you
Go
can
ahead,
get to
Jennifer.
that
You
in
have
just 1
something?
second here. I just have one more question here to ask you is when you were with your friends and you were doing these hunting of the spirits, did any of your friends get into channeling?
There you go.
No,
Okay.
not that I knew of. Not when they were around me. I've never seen it. Just that one friend that I stopped talking to because of what it was. But
Right.
but none of the other friends. I mean, some of them were more in tune than I am. As far as, I mean, I had one friend who was able to see, and kind of like a psychic, I guess you would say, but she was more of a medium. But
Okay.
she's never did it around me. Let me just say. But she does help people. I have, seen her do some good things with it. So.
Gotcha. Now, when you went on these excursions and whatnot, how deep have you gone in terms of equipment that you take? I mean, like a camera, cassette player, things like that. What kind
Infrared.
of infrared? What kind of technology did you use and things?
Well, I'm kind of poor, so I only use a digital camera and my cassette recorder.
welcome.
And then later on, we got a digital recorder
Okay.
Or
just a recorder, not a video.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've never used a video camera.
Gotcha.
A few years ago here in Missouri, one of the paranormal groups out here did a session where my sister and I went, and you can go through Missouri Town, which is an old settler village from the 1800s, and they set up their own equipment while we were doing the experimenting and stuff, and we were able to bring our own stuff. So I had my digital camera, I had my cell phone, and I had my digital recorder. And one of the rooms that you couldn't go into, but they had placed in there a motion detector doll that would talk if something crossed in front of it.
So
a
motion
we were outside the room,
doll?
and the doll was in one of the corners facing away from us, and we were just standing there talking and, asking questions, and then the doll would say something, and we're like,
okay, that is
So is Chucky your favorite movie?
No, it wasn't like an actual answer to a question. It would say something like, ha ha ha, or it would say hello or something, but it wasn't like, it would just make a noise if something went in front of it. So I don't remember the exact phrasing that it did, but my sister and I we were the only ones there in that section, and we just shut up immediately, looked at each other, looked back at the doll, looked back at each other. It was doing one of those double take things.
That's giving me goosebumps
that
right
was pretty
now.
Neat.
Well, I asked her. I said if Chucky is her favorite movie.
Oh my God! I mean, that's you're trying to capture stuff, but the equipment itself is spooky. Just
Yeah,
oh my
I know. I wouldn't have a doll. Not
just
ever,
have a motion detector.
Yeah, just a motion detector. I mean, I
be a doll that speaks to you.
Yeah,
Good
wow.
God. But
I mean, that reminds me of Chucky. No, thank you.
So nowadays. Are you still doing these type of things? Are you still going out and going to homes or facilities and things?
No. I've looked into it, but a lot of it is more on a professional level, and I don't have the equipment for that. So I haven't been doing any kind of ghost hunting since we've been here in Missouri, except for the this one paranormal group doing that open session at Missouri Town. On Facebook, you can go and pay like $150 to spend the night at this one haunted location, along with other ghost hunters and stuff. But I haven't done anything like that. I would like to do my own little private thing at like the Crescent Hotel or something like that. Make a weekend trip to a haunted hotel and do my own thing. But I have not done anything on my own in, it'll be about 13 years now.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Well, maybe you need to go out there and start again. I mean, a lot of people have already started. I mean, there's people on.
Well, she's already got her foot
show,
in the door.
They have their own shows, and stuff, and they just go around to haunted places and everything. You could do something like that.
I was actually thinking about doing stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, just get it going.
Yeah.
I mean, people do that nowadays. Big time.
You don't have to be professional to do it.
Has Darren?
I do want to eventually I want to get a spirit box.
Yes. Those are very interesting things.
Or a REM pod or something.
Yeah.
But stuff's expensive.
Trust me, I know.
So if anyone wants to contribute money to Cheryl and Darren for a spirit box, so she can continue
got an extra
her
spirit box out there?
or everyone has an extra one or something out there that they don't use, go ahead and pass it on to Darren.
Contact Night Talks Radio and we'll get it over to Cheryl.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the current model. It could be a few years from now, so that's good.
we want to see exactly what she encounters.
I know, I really do. Has Darren had any type of situations similar to what you went through?
No, he's a skeptic.
Skeptic, huh? So he doesn't.
So it's kind of funny because he was with me at one time up at Eagles Mirror, and he was, mouthing off, there's no ghost here, and the doors were shut, the windows were shut, there was no breeze whatsoever, but the tablecloth started moving.
Ah.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
What did he
I'm
say
like,
then?
He's, oh, that could be anything.
Oh.
It's
That could be anything,
random
yeah.
wind.
Yeah, that could be anything. It don't matter.
It's HARP, the weather machine.
Harp. So, Cheryl, you were going to talk to us a little bit about your Ouija board experience.
Oh.
Yeah, no. It was to the point where every time that I would use one with friends, this one particular entity, I guess you would say, would come through, and it wasn't a very nice one, so I just stopped doing it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Where this was in, I'm sorry, Pennsylvania or Philadelphia?
Yep. It was in one of my friends' apartments, and it had a certain signature movement that it would do. And every time after I came into contact with this particular entity, it would show up in other people's Ouija boards, and I was like, no, not doing that anymore.
Wow, did it have a name?
Really?
I don't want to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
no,
That's
I don't
fine.
want to hear it either.
I understand it.
Oh my gosh. So how many times did this happen?
3 times, and third time's a charm. No, thank you.
Wow.
You know, the thing with Ouija boards, though, is sometimes they can be dynamic. You can catch dynamic spirits.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes you can also catch good ones.
Right.
With mine, in, what happened to me is I ended up contacting an ancestor of mine who was there to give me the gift to see. And ever since then, I've been able to see and connect with the paranormal.
Well, here's the thing, Cheryl. So, like, when you were doing the Ouija board, do you just do you think of somebody that you want to contact, or does somebody just come through to you?
You ask it a question.
Well, I was asking Cheryl a question then.
I'm just saying that's normally what you do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it's done because I've never
Is there
played
anyone there?
Go ahead, Cheryl.
The thing is, with the Ouija board and with anything spiritually inclined, you don't really know if what you're getting is really the real deal, or what you're asking for. There's things out there that like to pretend and lie, and in your case, Jennifer, I'm glad it was somebody that you had a relation with at some point, like an ancestor or something.
Oh my gosh.
But what if it wasn't?
Right, exactly. Well, see, the scary thing about that is as soon as he had said that, the next night I heard rattling on my daughter's baby monitor, and then I heard her giggle and everything like that. So I went in there to find out what's going on. Here she was looking up on top of her ceiling above her her crib, and she was just laughing. And I saw it was claw prints. It was like
what?
three leg claw or 3 foot claw prints or 3 claws, that had walked across the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that would have freaked me out.
Cheryl, did you say that never? Did you? I couldn't because you were talking to Jennifer,
sorry.
but no. Did you say never say no to a spirit that's trying to come through?
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I never know which one's going to come through.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You never know it's kind of like, that old fart gum thing. If it's like a box of chocolates, you never know which one to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But see, the thing is, you probably don't want to say no to a spirit that comes through neither. You don't want to say, I don't want to talk to you or anything like that, because then you don't know what the heck's going to happen. You're supposed to, when you contact them, as scared as you are not supposed to let your hands off that Ouija board until you say goodbye.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that true? Okay. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
So, how do you know? I mean, I guess the Ouija board starts moving. So is that how you know that somebody's contacting you? Like it just starts moving and things like that?
Mm-hmm. Well, what you do is what happens is there's like an arrow type thing, and you put both of your fingertips lightly on that arrow, and then you can ask it a question or whatever, and you concentrate and you ask it a question, and then it will move on its own with your tiny little fingertips, just a little sliver of your fingertip on
Cheryl,
it. The planchette is has like a little circle on the inside of it, and it will move over to a letter and spell out the answer.
Yep.
So, Cheryl, when you're doing it, you have like multiple friends or whatever with you, correct?
Yeah, you should always do it with someone. You never should do it by yourself.
Okay, so, well, for this situation, how many friends did you have with you? Just for example.
Anywhere from 3 to 4 people
Okay.
are touching it.
And so, wow, that's the part I just can't get over is that thing moves by itself.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I
I always thought like, okay, there's so many people. There's got to be somebody moving the thing.
Well, that's what you think, but see, the thing is that a lot of times when you do a Ouija board and stuff is, you're going to have probably about 3 or 4 people with you, and you're going to be 2 are at one end and 2 are at the other end or whatever, right across from each other. And
Can you do it by yourself?
You can do it by yourself, but you're more apt to, like, contact the demons. And
You're more prone to leave yourself open for
possession.
something.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, for me, so if it was me, I would screw up big time. I would let something into this world. But, wow. Okay, so Ouija board. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. I mean, so sometimes some people actually do involve candles, too, don't they, Cheryl?
Yeah, I mean, you can use candles. I'm not sure exactly what all the different color candles mean or anything like that. I've never really delved into that. But usually people want to spook each other out and put low lighting in there and all that kind of stuff when you're playing with the Ouija board or spirit board or whatever you want to call it. A lot of people don't think that it's actually real and it can actually be harmful. It's just a game,
Yeah.
But
wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
Well,
okay. Now I'm
freaky,
spooked.
Because we just lost Cheryl after we were talking about.
All right, I got goosebumps
about the Ouija board.
Okay, this happened last time.
Yeah.
When we were getting I know I really have goosebumps right now. Like that is spooky. Cheryl, call back.
I might have to get out my holy water for this one.
Here, why don't you go tell her to call back? But I am getting sick and tired of that happening when we're talking about, weird stuff like that. Last time it was that little girl and the EVP.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about Ouija boards and what happens. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I think we should just do shows about happy things from now on.
Well, she was on her computer too, so maybe she had a glitch with her computer.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what you want to think in your head.
I'll tell her. I'll tell her to call back.
Tell her to call back.
Oh,
because that just the timing, every single time.
And here's the thing: is like, okay, so with me, I can sense things.
Why did we start talking about Ouija boards?
I can sense things, and right now I can sense that there is
some fucked up shit going on.
There is a presence around here because I just got a chill, and I don't normally get a chill. There's no air going on in the house or anything like that.
I turn the fan off.
I'm my hand. It's not close by because I'm not getting my hairs sticking up on the edge of me.
I do.
Well, you do, yeah.
I'm like thoroughly like.
But I will when they want to contact me, I'll normally get the hairs of my arms.
Oh God.
Standing upward.
So yeah, that just happened, and it looks like she's calling back.
So it is here.
Cheryl.
Yes.
Okay, that was extremely spooky and weird, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what
that
happened.
was perfect
My Skype
timing.
just stopped working, so.
Wow, that's crazy. Your computer stopped working?
My Skype did. It just booted me right out.
That is so weird.
That is
weird.
weird.
When you go back and listen to the show, you'll hear what I said. We were talking in depth about Ouija boards and things like that. And the last time this happened,
talking
was
about
right
Paranormal
before
and
we were about
EVPs.
to hear an EVP of a child.
Little girl, yeah.
And yeah, and then it just happened again when we were just about to get in depth with Ouija boards, big time there. You were about to say something and it went off. I got goosebumps like crazy.
Yeah, I told Daniel I'm about ready to get my holy water out.
I mean, that was a little spooky. That was a little spooky.
It is. I mean, I've got a chill right now, and there's nothing going on or anything, and I was just sweating here just a little bit ago, and now I've got chills on my arms and everything like that. So I know that there is a presence around here.
Folks, it's no joke. Let's put it that way. It is no joke.
But I don't think, it's close by, like right here in the room.
That's good. Well, Cheryl is back. Anyhow, and
hey everyone.
Yeah. So we lost her, but she's back, and we'll discuss what happened there a little bit later. That was really, really spooky, but okay,
very spooky.
And you're also let's skip around just a little bit. You're also in a band with your husband, Darren. Mm-hmm. How did that all kick off?
And what is it called?
and obviously, yes. What is it called?
Well, we're the Darren Holland Project, and Darren and I started working together musically 18 years ago.
Wow.
And then it was just him and I. We met at karaoke.
Oh.
Karaoke.
Yep. And we, started. Well, I invited him to sit with me and my friend because he was by himself, and we just started talking, and then we just started playing out together, doing covers and some of his original stuff.
Yeah.
We started dating for about 5 years, and then we got married, and so we've been together 18 years, but married for 13.
Wow.
Gotcha.
That's amazing.
So,
and the music has always been a part of it. So we've always been doing music.
Is how you met, huh?
Karaoke.
So I believe there are angels among us.
She does this every night.
That was not my best.
This
but
is why we're a talk show.
Nice.
That wasn't my best. But come on,
no. I used to frequent the karaoke.
I can do better than that, but I was just.
It was like, I bounced around.
You bounced
quite
around.
A bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of
music
songs? What influences the songs that you guys do? Do you partake in the writing? Does Darren do most of the writing, or how does that all work out?
No. Darren is the mastermind behind the music and the writing. I'm going to put you on speaker so that you can hear too.
Okay. Mastermind.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we hear you.
So Darren is the singer-songwriter. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, but you got a beautiful voice too. So I mean, and the nice thing is you guys mesh like really good together. I mean,
no, you really do.
Your companionship, your vibe, your spark. Even your
you can feel it in the songs.
Compassion. Your compassion to sing and to get these lyrics out, and stuff, and his writing, you can all hear it coming through in the song.
Right. Yeah. It's you guys make a really good match from the songs that I've heard so far. And as a matter of fact, you're our NTR New Music Now guest once again, and we got some new tracks, so we'll be playing those shortly. But the music's pretty incredible. Do you eventually have a goal with that? Do you guys want to make a major career out of that possibly, or?
Yeah, but honestly, we're old.
That can't go.
It took us time in life to figure out where we both wanted to go.
Right.
And musically, I mean, when you listen to the lyrics of these, they do tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, our ultimate goal would be to, of course, sell the songs so that other people can do them. I mean, that would be the greatest tribute for all.
Absolutely.
being on a Netflix show would be awesome as a soundtrack for a show. I mean, that's awesome too. You know,
Right, exactly.
But as far as going out and touring, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, but I know that's only going to last so long. You know, the ultimate goal, I think, would be for us to sell a song or 2 or 3, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the hot thing right now is online music.
Yeah, online.
You know, people making music online and selling it that way and things. They don't, you know, it's few and far between that I hear about concerts now. You know what? The only thing I hear about really where we're at is We Fest, the Country Fest.
Yeah.
And that's like the only concert that I have really heard about.
Yeah, you don't hear about
You
a
know,
whole lot, you know.
there's not many concerts anymore, and I think that really happened with the shandemic.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
Yeah, you can literally just be at home now and do things online. So I really think that you guys would do great.
Pretty well on Spotify. We can always do better. You know, that's always an ultimate goal of getting more people out there listening to our stuff, taking an interest in our stuff, and, you know, maybe making it go even further than we can.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that is the whole point, you know, why I got the New Music Now started is for individuals just like you guys, you know, to get the music out there, you know, to allow people to hear it.
Yeah.
And
be
you know,
heard.
and then they can always go back as well
Yeah.
to, you know, the archives and listen to it anytime they want, you know, and then they can find a way, if say they want to buy it, they can figure that out and contact them, you know, with the information. So, yeah, that...
So if you're interested in actually doing an audio lay down or whatever for a CD and stuff like that, you be in touch with me, because I have a couple of friends who actually have some CDs out there already, and I can probably get you in contact with someone who helps them put them in the CDs.
We can get you connected.
We've done CDs before as well, but thank you. I appreciate that. Any little bit of information is always helpful.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
So, but the other question that I wanted to ask as well is, what do you do specifically in the band, and what does Darren do specifically in the band as far as instruments and things like that?
Okay. Me personally, I've played harmonica, I've played flute, I've played drums, I've played percussion, I've played some keyboards, and I also sing and do background vocals and harmony.
Goodness. Okay, and what does Darren do?
I do the guitars,
Okay.
the keyboard, the ones that Cheryl doesn't do, I do, and all the bass stuff. I do the drum programmings, and we also have Barb Wilmoth, who also plays drums for us.
She's a better drummer than me. I'm not that skilled.
Yeah, but we've used both of them in songs together, and we've also used them against some of my programs to really make an impact drum-wise in a different different sound.
Wow. So now you guys have a website out there, don't you?
No, we're on Facebook. We're the Darren Holland Project.
Okay.
You know, just find us that way.
You can also find us on Spotify and any digital music platform. We are the Darren Holland Project there as well.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know all the linked sites.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, we go through a company called DistroKid, and they disperse our songs out to all the different digital platforms for us.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll make sure to put that information down on NTR Facebook.
Oh, yes.
And NTR Twitter, so people know how to at least find you guys. You know.
Right.
But
And Cheryl, we are up against a break right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to play one of your songs, and we are actually going to come back and ask you about a couple more experiences, like what you found in Gettysburg and all that other stuff.
A lot more coming up with you. Is
More
that okay?
paranormal to come up.
Okay, awesome.
All right. So, yep, we are going to take a break now, folks. We got Cheryl Holland and Darren Holland
Yes.
on the line with us, and we're talking about paranormal. We're talking about music.
Yeah.
We're talking about Ouija boards.
Yeah, and how spooky is that the phone just cut
That
out
was super
again?
spooky.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But rest
That's-
assured, everyone, I told it to go away, and it did go away because Daniel is
I don't
no
have-
longer spiking his hair up on his arms, and I am no longer feeling cold.
I don't have any goosebumps. Okay, folks. This is Night Talks Radio. We'll be right back. Special Monday edition. Want more Night Talks? We have you covered. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Night Talks Radio for bold and truthful commentary, breaking news, show updates, program guest information, and so much more. And hey, thanks for listening.
Hey everyone, this is Cheryl Holland from tonight's special Night Talks Radio Labor Day broadcast event. Not only am I tonight's special guest on NTR, but tonight's New Music Now artist once again. Darren and I are back with some great new tracks for you. The Darren Holland Project is bringing the music you need for an amazing Labor Day night. And of course, I'll be back for hour 2 and more with Daniel and Jennifer, right here on a special Labor Day Night Talks Radio.
Left us high and dry as we walk away.
Want to reach Night Talks Radio? That's easy. Simply dial 1-507-384-9390. Or for first-time callers, just dial 1-507-307-4424. From somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Everyone says that I should get going, start running, but I'm not supposed to run when I'm falling.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Night Talks Radio, special Labor Day night broadcast. It is me, Daniel, along with the great Jennifer Gregerson.
Hello, everyone.
There she is. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Labor Day night. But sadly, it is the official sort of ending of summer.
Yeah,
leading
that's sad.
into fall. I love fall, don't get me wrong. But did it seem like summer lasted for maybe like 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Or was that just me?
Yeah, it came and gone real
Summer
fast.
was like 2 weeks of 110 degree weather, and then it was over.
Yep, pretty much.
Pretty much. So fall is officially on its way. We are in September. Next month is going to be October.
But you know, I love fall. I
do too. I love
fall.
fall.
We were
Fall
talking
is-
about that the other
Yes,
day,
we
that
were.
we absolutely love fall. I mean, the changing of the leaves, the bright colors. I mean, it's just
amazing.
It's beautiful. I just love it.
Amazing stuff. You know, for me, it's just that there's a certain smell to the air. You know, that really, the fall is here. And,
well, it's fall harvest.
You know, you get to put on the hoodies and
the
get your
hoodies.
pumpkins
I get
and
the
stuff like
pumpkins.
that.
Go on hay
And
rides.
hay rides, and of course, college football.
Oh, yes.
NFL is kicking
Yes.
off and things like that. So, just a real magical time of the year, I would say.
Oh, yes.
You know, so good stuff. And then right after that is what I would call hell months here
months.
in Minnesota.
Oh, yes.
Let's
Let's
where
go 60 below weather.
you walk outside and within 2 seconds you die.
Wow.
'Cause
Not
it's
necessarily do
minus
that, but I mean,
65 degrees wind chill.
you walk outside and within seconds your tongue freezes to your mouth, pretty much.
You open your mouth, just freeze.
Yeah.
Tears freeze.
Yeah, tears freeze.
Just horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Horrible stuff. But you know what?
But
let's-
you know,
let's not-
it's also a good time too because we met in the winter, didn't we?
You know what? We did.
How did we meet?
I needed you to take me to Wally Mart.
Wally World.
At Wally World and get a snow shovel because I had my whole back door was just a giant wave of snow, and I couldn't get into that thing.
Right.
And so I needed, because I had my what did I have, a little Escort? What the hell was that?
Ford Escort. Yes.
Ford Escort or something like that.
Yeah.
And
no, Focus.
Oh, Ford Focus, yeah. And so I was like, oh, I don't need it. I've dealt with Michigan weather, like Minnesota. Come on. And instantly got my car stuck.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it work. I had to have my engineer pick me up like 3 or 4 times. I countless times had to be towed out of my own driveway.
So now keep in mind, guys, I picked him up after only having a conversation. I had a conversation with you on the phone for like 4 hours. We met on a dating site.
We met
we
on
really did.
A dating site.
And it's the best time of my life, meeting
I like to
him
tell
and
people that
everything
we
like
met on a beach as the sun was going down.
I like to say we met over a snow shovel.
And a snow shovel. Yeah, a snow shovel. That's good. I
Yeah.
don't want to tell people we met on Go Fish. But
it wasn't Go
no,
Fish.
it wasn't Go Fish.
It was
but
datehookup.com, guys.
there you go. There's a plug. We're gonna need money for that. All right, but anyway,
it was fun anyway.
We have Cheryl is still with us, I hope.
I am.
There you are. All right. Yeah, we just played some of your music there. Just wonderful stuff. Really enjoyable. And you can tell that you guys, you mix very, very well. So now Jennifer was going to ask you about some things that happened at Gettysburg. What is that all about?
Well, as you guys know, Gettysburg is a very integral part of our history from the Civil War.
Right.
A lot of people lost their lives in that battle. Devil's Den in particular, along with a few other places that were that we had gone to. Very, very. Now, my story, I had captured a picture at Devil's Den. It was during the day, so we were just out walking around. If you've ever seen pictures of Devil's Den, it's a bunch of large boulders.
Okay.
Not very easy to get up to the very top of them or anything. They're very big. But I just happened to take a picture. None of my friends that we were with were anywhere near it. There was no one on top of the boulders walking around or nothing. I just decided to take a picture of the boulders. And when this is back in the day before digital was available.
Right.
You had to take your film to get processed at the photo mart, whatever it was you used.
Oh, God, I remember those.
And so when I got my pictures back, I've had a couple of pictures in the hotel with orbs and things like that. So, they could be anything.
Right.
But when I got to the picture at Devil's Den, you can actually see a faint outline in the tree line of a Confederate soldier. And you can tell it's a Confederate soldier because he's not wearing the dark blue that you see for the Union soldiers.
Right.
So you can clearly see the strap of the gun, of the rifle.
Okay.
Because it's darker than the uniform.
Wow.
But you can't see it fully in focus. It's kind of hazy, so you have to really look for it. But if you're not looking for it, then you might just think it's the tree or something. But it's lighter than a tree, so it's really one of my best captures, I think, as far as photographs go.
And you have that image.
I do. I actually found my photo album that has all of my paranormal pictures in it. So.
Oh my gosh, you might have to send that to us. I want to see that.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty amazing.
Even screenshot it and send it over.
Screenshot it, yeah. Now, so that took place. Did anything else happen at Gettysburg then?
No, not well. Yeah, I had an EVP of what sounds like horses galloping, but we were out there at 9 o'clock at night or so, and it was dark. There would be no horses out and about that time.
No horses should be around.
Wow. Yeah, and so it was kind of neat to hear that, but don't know where that tape got to.
Right. Yeah.
So, are you planning another trip there anytime soon?
No, not unless I go back to Philly. Probably not. I'd love to, yeah, but I don't think it's anytime in the near future.
Right. Wow. Where now, with these excursions and things that you had taken part in, was there anywhere else that you've been besides Gettysburg and Philadelphia and things like that?
Not to do ghost hunting. I've lived in California. I've lived a lot of places, but most of my paranormal experiences were around Philadelphia, Eaglesmere, Gettysburg, parts of Virginia, but nothing past that. I've nothing past the East Coast. Have I? Well, with the exception of Missouri Town here in Missouri, that one time.
I think it would be actually interesting to go explore an abandoned White House.
An abandoned White House? What do you mean?
Well, White House, not White House. Excuse me, Lighthouse.
Oh, I'm like.
Hello. Well, they're white generally, from what.
Well, I guess you could say the White House is abandoned.
Right. Our president, he's just.
Not my president.
No.
There's a little interesting tidbit too.
What's that?
Darren and I had our honeymoon in Cape May, New Jersey.
Okay.
Cape May. If you've never been there, I highly suggest you go. There's a lot of beautiful Victorian B&Bs there, and almost every single one of them has some kind of history or haunted past. Okay, so there's a psychic medium who writes books about the ghost of Cape May. Chris McManus, I believe his name is, and I had one of his books. And when we got married, I just picked one of the one of the B&Bs out of his book to go stay at for a few days. Nothing happened while we were there, but
Right.
very interesting history and very interesting story behind that house. We stayed at the John F. Craig house, and it's a beautiful gingerbreading Victorian. It's gorgeous.
Oh, wow. I love those kind of
But
houses.
Cape May is one place that I highly recommend. If you have never gone to stay, you should. It's beautiful, and almost every single B&B there has some kind of
And what's
haunted
that called one more time?
Cape May, New Jersey.
Cape May?
CAPE May, MAY.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll certainly have to. And where did you stay again in Cape May?
It was a John F. Craig house.
John F. Craig. Okay.
What are I know Airbnb is like bed and breakfast. So like, is it like somebody's like home? Like, do people like? Is it just these Airbnbs? Is like, hey, you can like stay in my spare bedroom or my couch or whatever.
No, these are
How does that work?
specifically- I mean, they used to be homes, yes, but these are specifically turned into B&Bs.
Gotcha.
But a lot of the original craftsman is still there. The craftsmanship's still there. A
Yeah.
lot of the period furniture is still there, antiques and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very. I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
Now, now,
Sounds gorgeous.
yeah, it really does. You know,
Hey, maybe we
I've
can take
actually-
our honeymoon there, honey.
Right, yeah. Honestly, now what I was going to ask: is there anything else besides the paranormal and things like that you're interested? Like, say, UAPs or Sasquatch or things like that.
I love cryptozoology.
Oh, okay.
Just the idea, like here in Missouri, they have Momo, which is a Missouri monster, which is a Bigfoot-type creature in the Ozarks.
Okay.
And I watch a lot of like Expedition Bigfoot on Discovery and Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, yes.
The FRO has a chapter here in Missouri, down in the Ozarks, that does hold Bigfoot weekends where you can go and search with them.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Nessie, Loch Ness Monster, all that kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we actually did a show not too long ago on the Dogman. And
okay.
And very recently, actually, we did a broadcast on the Mothman, which
I called in for that one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so I'm very intrigued by that stuff as well, especially the Mothman. I don't know why that pulls me in so much, but it really does. And then the gentleman that talked about the Dogman, that was pretty spooky. And we talked a little bit about the Chupacabra as well. So, but now. How you said it was 13 years or so since you've done sort of paranormal expeditions and things like that?
Yeah, I would say it's about that. Maybe a little bit longer than that, but it's always on my mind and always in the back of my mind, I need to get back into doing that, or that was really fun, But it's just, life goes on, life happens, things happen, and I just don't get the chance to do it as much as I wanted to.
Right, yeah, no, I totally understand what you mean. Out of all the things that you've done, now we've talked about the scariest, and what was the overall best place that you've been to that you would say, really intrigued you?
Wow, that's tough. Yeah, I would have to say Fort Mifflin in Philly. Again, it's a fort.
Okay.
It was a military base for, I think it was it was started in the Revolution, I think.
That's not you're not talking about the base where they did the experiment with the ship, is it?
No, that's the Philadelphia Naval Yard.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Fort Mifflin's north of there, on the Delaware River as well, and it was a fort, like Fort McHenry and things like that.
Right.
where I did an overnight there. We got to stay in the casements and do little sessions there. We stayed in the actual officers' barracks, where one of the stories is one of the, I think it was one of the officers' wives used to walk back and forth on the porch above the house. And then there's a soldier with no face that hangs out at the entrance of the casements.
Oh my gosh.
I've not seen anything when I was there, but it was, it was still interesting and a spooky place to be at night, especially when there's really no light and stuff. But yeah, that was fun. Again, Eastern State Penitentiary is another place where it was really, really cool to do an overnight there. But I mean, I don't like bugs, so being out in the cemetery at nighttime is not my cup of tea. But
yeah, I totally understand.
a couple hours is good, but I wouldn't want to spend the night there. But but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places there in Philly, like the General Wayne Inn is another place that I did an investigation in, but I would not go upstairs into the attic area. I just didn't like the feel of it, but other people did.
Okay.
So I've done a few things.
Wow. From these places, I know it's been 13 years. Has anything, I guess you could say, popped around recently or within these 13 years again from past adventures and things that you've been on?
Well, no, not that I can tell. I do know when we first moved out here, my daughter was 2 or 3, and she had this little remote-controlled school bus.
Okay.
That the only way you can get it to move is it had these, it was a remote, but it was like a large buttons instead of the smaller little buttons you move around. It was larger for a little kid.
Okay.
And that thing would go off on its own all the time. Nobody would be touching it.
Really?
I even took the batteries out of the remote, and it would still go off and move. And
oh my gosh!
So we got rid of that one real quick.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I have a similar story about things operating when they're not supposed to. I was living in a place in Michigan called Fowlerville, kind of a desolate sort of town, more up north from Detroit. And I was by myself, and I remember at 4 o'clock in the morning, very specifically, that weird events would happen. And to make a very long story short, there was fire alarms in the complex, in the house. And I believe there was 3 of them. And at 4 in the morning, for almost 3 or 4 days in a row, I had a black cat as well that would come into the room and sit by the door and look out into the hallway as if something was there.
Yeah.
So I would always kind of be spooked out, just like, hey, what the hell are you looking at?
Mm-hmm.
And at 4 o'clock, the alarms would start going off. Okay.
Wow.
So I would turn them off. Okay, and they would start to go off again.
Huh.
So what I would do is I took them all down, and I took the batteries out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were off the wall. Okay, and they were all sitting in a row on sort of like a little table that separated the kitchen and the living room area. And I shit you not, the next 4 o'clock in the morning the next day, they all started going off again.
Wow.
I remember I just opened the front door and ran out and stood in the street and was looking back at the house. I didn't know what to think. It was very similar to that. Like there was no explanation to why these things were going off. They didn't have internal power. They weren't connected to any energy. They didn't have batteries in them, and all 3 of them were going off. And I literally didn't know what to do. besides drink the bottle of wine that was in the...
Right.
Yeah, but it was the spookiest thing ever. She was mentioning about the school bus. I don't know if you caught that, but...
Okay.
Yeah, just...
So, are you finding, Cheryl, that there's a lot of old houses that are really, really haunted around your area?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, who posts up, my house is haunted,
Right.
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, Missouri is relatively old. Well, new and old at the same time. I mean, it was 1800s when settlers started coming here. So, I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I'm an amateur at everything, so I can only go by what I know. And honestly, I haven't done much investigating out here to know whether or not there's a lot of haunted houses here or not. There is a group in Blue Springs that is a paranormal group that does investigations, but I am not a part of them.
We actually have listeners out of Blue Springs.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, wow.
So...
have you ever, in any of your investigations or explorative investigations, I should say, because you're not really a professional, you just do it for fun, have you explored any Indian burial grounds?
Ooh.
No, I have not.
That would be interesting.
No Indian burial grounds. You
would have to get permission to do that kind of stuff. Especially if it's sacred land, you don't want to go messing around with something that,
No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
No.
When I worked for the railroad, actually, we went through Indian territory and land, and it wasn't very fun to be in that area at night at like 1 or 2 in the at night, switching train cars around.
Right.
Ooh, there was an element of the spookiness because right past the town, past the tracks, was a they literally had like burial stones and things like that right there.
Wow.
And so there was multiple times where I thought I was being looked at, and I thought that things were following me when I was tying up air hoses and things like that. And I'll tell you what, you had to walkie-talkie and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, at a certain point, though, when you're walking the train, you lose connection. And so you're just out there with your light, And there's been a few times where, I've let some things go on the trains to get back to the engine. I'll tell you that. Just not a place that I want to be in.
Right. Well... See, Thief River Falls, Minnesota is very well known for haunted activity. A lot of it is actually the old Civil War era that shows up. Like my brother bought an old house for like only $40,000 when he was 17 years old.
$40,000. Good.
And he fixed up the house and everything like that, but his daughter, when she was, I believe, I want to say 5 or 6 years old, she says that there was an old Civil War man that would come and sit at the edge of her bed every night.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've never been through that experience. I've dealt with night terrors a lot. Night terrors to me, that's one of the most spookiest things in the world.
But what about that house we lived in?
Yeah, it just seems like I think I had that. Whatever happened in Fowlerville, I think that followed me around for quite a bit. Whatever that was, I can't explain that one. But it does seem that everywhere I go, that there is some sort of paranormal activity.
But that's
and
weird
then
too.
and
So
then
I mean, there could be
you,
some kind of connection that we have. Is that you have the paranormal activity, I have the paranormal activity. You put us together, and we're strong. So that's maybe why the paranormal ones
just
too.
double E.
They want to double up on us.
Paranormal and whatnot. Yeah, really. So Cheryl,
you guys are magnets.
Yeah, exactly. So Cheryl, so what else are you into? So you're paranormal and all that, and I mentioned about UAPs and Sasquatch and stuff like that. What other things are you into?
I've always been fascinated with like past life regression.
Okay.
and the possibility of reincarnation, maybe,
The afterlife, and things like that. We were just discussing that not too long ago. The death theory.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the death theory?
The dead theory?
I have not, unless it's called something else.
No, it's called the death theory.
The death theory,
and
okay.
it's pretty wild. So
yeah, it's crazy.
If you're talking about reincarnation and all that stuff. So the death theory is that you know the Hadron Collider, correct, CERN?
Say that again?
The Hadron Collider.
No.
Okay, the Hadron Collider is, I believe, in Geneva. And what it is this big sort of circle, okay? And about as big as like a subway tunnel.
Right.
And they shoot atoms and particles around at each other at just incredible speed.
Right.
And they make them smash into each other, okay? And when you do something like that, you literally could cause a black hole, okay, to happen on Earth.
Is it similar
Right.
to like a string theory?
No. This is quite different. But you could create a black hole technically. So they did this in 2012, and they did it again recently. But the death theory is that when they first did it, they had mentioned how they were looking for what's called the God particle. Okay, and that I believe is where essentially you would be able to transverse the multiverse. I mean, like a freaking movie, like Doctor Strange.
Right.
But anyway, so the death theory is that when they turned CERN on and Hadron Collider in 2012, okay, around the 21st, by the way, which is the day that we were told that the Mayan calendar supposedly stated that it stopped. It stopped on that date. Everybody thought the end of the world was going to happen. Well, the death theory explains that it did happen on December 21st, 2021. No, I'm sorry, 2012. And it was because they did create a black hole, and we all died. And right now, we're simply living out our lives via our, I guess you could say, souls and consciousness and whatnot. We like right now. I believe that I'm talking to you, Cheryl. I believe that I'm talking to Jennifer. I believe we have this show, but it's all my brain telling me this. And I'm probably somewhere either laying in a hospital bed, unconscious right now, or I'm just gone. I died in 2012 along with everybody else, and that's why recently the Mandela effect has been supposedly affecting people, where they think things were spelled one way or somebody died that didn't, or vice versa, because it's glitches in the brain, your soul.
What we need to do is we need to start a show specifically on the Mandela effect. We need to find someone, a doctor or
Cheryl.
Someone out there who believes in it.
Yeah, I mean, I
awesome.
want you to look this up when the show's over and when we're done talking. It's a
Is that
very...
like a false memory or something?
Could you say that again? I'm sorry.
Is it kind of like a false memory theory or something like that?
Kinda. It's just saying that, like for instance, if I was next to Jennifer and God forbid she was unconscious or she had passed away, to me, she would still have brain activity for a certain period of time, but not very long. But time is a human construct. So to Jennifer, it would be a lifetime. And what it is your brain is still shooting, still being active, your soul and consciousness is still active, and it is
like
living out your life the way it thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that's why people are having these false memories of things, supposedly, because you're really not alive, so your brain is glitching, and that hence the Mandela effect coming into play, and you're thinking these things that are wrong, and other people are saying that no, that's right, that's the right way, or whatever. It's because you're dead and gone. Everybody's dead and gone.
Yeah.
We're all dead right now.
That's
You know, it sounds like the Matrix movies, honestly.
It does. It is the here's the freaky thing about it. There are scientists, major scientists, that are actually on board with this theory.
Backing it up, yeah.
And they are backing it up. And it was introduced by a 22-year-old on TikTok.
Yeah,
And
but see, they're also backing up the Matrix, that we're in the Matrix, too.
yeah, sure. You mentioned the Matrix. There's scientists that back that up as well. And not exactly like it, but similar. Mm-hmm. That we are in some sort of realm like that.
Yeah.
This just happens to be the universe that we're in.
If that's true, then that's pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
It is. It's there's so many things. The black universe theory.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever find out, though. I mean, I think we'll find out when we're truly, dead.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody can come back.
Nobody knows. Nobody can come back to life.
Right. So everything's always a theory.
Except there was that one little girl. She was 3 years old, okay? And this was a story that happened not too long ago here.
Real quick, Jennifer. Cheryl, could you turn the radio down in the background for us?
I don't have a radio on.
There's no radio in the background?
No.
Oh, weird.
TV, maybe?
That might be me then.
Or Darren.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for falsely accusing you. Go ahead, Jennifer.
So here's the strangest thing, okay? So there was this 3-year-old who died. Okay, she went to the hospital because she was having stomach pains and everything like that, and she ended up dying from the stomach pains. And the doctors, they didn't do anything for her before or whatever, and then they moved her from a different room because her mom was complaining that nothing was getting done for her, and then they just basically just let her die. And so when they were at her funeral, before her mom had said goodbye to her and everything like that, she literally felt her daughter, like her daughter was hugging her, And they said, no, you're grieving and everything like that, and stuff like that. And then the grandmother swore that she saw, like, breath coming from the coffin,
Okay.
And so what they did is they picked her up and they brought her back to the hospital. And they checked it out again, and they said that she was alive, but yet she was dead. And they're like, well, what do you mean she was alive and she was dead? And they were saying, well, it's probably her conscious that was alive, and her whole body was dead and everything like that. So then I guess the story goes they waited just a little bit longer, and she came back to life. So she wasn't actually dead. It's like she was in a coma or whatever, but they thought she was dead. But here's the thing is, because she still had that problem with her stomach and everything, and because she was in that coma or whatever for so long and everyone thought she was dead, she ended up having brain damage, and she actually died 3 hours later.
Oh, my God.
For real.
That's...
3 years old.
Back in the olden days, they used to misdiagnose people who they thought were dead and weren't and were buried alive.
Oh, I know.
But see, what would have happened if she would have stayed alive? I mean, how could she have? Yeah. Because they embalm you. They take everything out of you when you die, because that's how they get you ready for, your funeral and everything. So what would have happened if she would have actually stayed alive?
I don't know, but embalming fluid, by the way, is what you smell all through St. Eloise. It is, it's really, really spooky. They actually use it for a Halloween haunted house. So it's like, it's like you can literally smell the embalming fluid. Like, it's just super spooky. So,
Wow.
but yeah.
That's strange.
So.
Yeah, a lot of strange phenomenons out there. A lot of encounters with the paranormal. I mean, there's a lot more encounters with the spiritual coming out. A lot of people seeing
Spirituality
nowadays. With the angels. They're seeing angels or other things. I mean, there was a one time, I guess your mom was saying, or were you saying it, that people would drive from all over just to see this Jesus image that showed up on the water tower or something like that.
Yeah, it was in Ohio. I can't recall the city's name, but most of the Midwest drove. I remember there was thousands of people, and it was one of those big oil storage tanks, the circular ones and whatnot. I believe it was a mobile one, and sure shit. There was an image clear as day on it, and
Wow.
I cannot tell you how it was being done. And like I said, it was like a pilgrimage. I mean, literally, and that was the thing to do that summer, was to go to that city in Ohio, and it was 200 some odd miles away from where we lived in southeastern Michigan. So. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before.
Yeah, I know, and we've encountered a lot of things, too, in our life growing up. And, I mean, if you go to what is Forbidden Knowledge News, and you look up our segment that we just did last week, you'll be able to see the pictures of the angel that we encountered on our phone.
Yeah, that was insane as well. Yeah, that was a podcast.
Yeah.
So you were obviously there was video, so we got to show some things, and that was a crazy time in Kentucky. But
oh yes.
But yeah.
Well, no, that was actually in Ohio. We went to Kentucky first,
and then
we stayed over in Ohio at the hotel.
Right. So Cheryl, I like to ask most of our guests this question. So, what do you predict the future is going to be like from this point? What do you think is going to happen with the human race in general?
Well, you know what? All I can say is that I hope that we all have a better future than what's been experiencing in the present.
Yeah.
Reality does leave a lot to the imagination. Who's to say what I believe is real is not? I can't tell you what you believe is real.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I just hope that we all end up being better people in the end.
Right.
I really do. I really do agree with that.
With the kids just starting school here tomorrow, most of them, and some of them are already in school, what do you think is going to come of that school system? Do you think that they're going to end up going into homeschooling on the computers again by the second half of the year?
I hope not.
Yeah, you know what?
I really believe that going to a brick-and-mortar school is better in the long run than doing it at home, because you know what? When you're home, you're more complacent. Oh, I'll do it later.
Yep.
Yeah, kids don't want to be on the computer doing schoolwork. They want to be on the computer to play video games and things like that.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
I can't say. I was going to say, I prefer going to a brick-and-mortar school for my children.
Right.
They get a better hands-on experience, and they get to focus more. If they're home, there's way too many distractions.
I agree.
But
I agree.
Hold on.
But yeah.
But if the stuff keeps happening out there in the world between, Uvalde, and COVID, and so on and so forth, there's a lot of problems right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely there is.
Yep.
We'll see which one of them, or how long the school year lasts,
Right.
Yeah.
But there's more than just, kids should wear masks, or kids shouldn't.
Or kids should have Kevlar backpacks. I mean, that's a scary thing,
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Thief River, where I was originally from, the school district just voted down, which is good, they just voted down the cat litter box thing.
Explain that. Explain that.
That's kind of going a little too far.
So you know what fluffies are, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Like, I can't believe it.
I can't believe how you would let a kid, pretend they're a cat and poop and pee in a litter box. I mean, seriously.
Like, I laugh because it's like is this real life?
Right.
Like, is this real life for real?
Right. Yeah.
Like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yes, it is.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying. And you know what?
Sometimes the school district is allowing it too. I just don't understand.
I know. Yeah. So I mean, the problem here, I think, is.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
So it becomes a privacy issue. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But it also, on the other side, becomes a privacy issue. Those trans kids deserve to be in that school
Absolutely.
too, and they deserve to get a free lunch too. They're kids.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So when you look at that side of it, and then turn around and look back, okay, really, you take on the whole thing.
Yeah,
I mean, they shouldn't be going together. They're little kids in general.
Yeah.
Okay. But the truth is, those trans kids deserve the courtesy to be able to be there without being bullied.
I agree.
So you
everyone does. Everyone does. It's all about equality. Everyone needs to be equal, and stuff in a way.
Here, by the way, real quick before we get into that,
believe in that.
Real quick before we get into that, I think I know what it is now. Are you still on speakerphone?
I am.
That's what it is. Could you get off speakerphone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's what it is. I've been sitting here trying to figure it out because I hear an echo, and when they're talking, you notice how it dips and you can't hear them for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was wondering.
So I was like, "What is that?" I thought it was the radio at first, like they maybe had the radio on. But
is that better?
Yeah, it's 100 times better now. Now I can. Better. Yeah, you're not cut off. It's like
because when you were talking, it was like you were talking, but then it's like you were kind of
slowly come in,
go down, like you were like lifting yourself away from the phone.
Yeah. So now I can hear you perfectly again. So okay, now we can get back into it. What were you saying, Jennifer? I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying that I think everyone needs to be equal. I mean that you can't push yourself like okay. So they want to be trans, and stuff like that. Well, don't push it on my kids.
Well, here's
just do your own thing. I mean, gays and lesbians and stuff, they did their own thing. They left it all alone, and stuff. They didn't push it on. The society is so messed up, and not only that, they talk about equality and they want to teach your kids equality, yet they turn around and tell everyone,
first off,
that we're racist. White racism.
First off, let me say. When they're teaching equality, okay, it's not the way that you think.
No.
Okay.
No.
They're saying that everybody must be, they believe that everybody, no matter where you're at, okay, if you're sitting on your ass at home doing nothing, or you're busting your ass trying to make the most money for your family, both of you should start out equally, and everybody should have equal things. Equality right now to the government, and Kamala Harris, for example, is socialism.
Oh yes,
they are using that word to cover up socialism.
Yeah,
I do understand where you're coming from. I don't necessarily agree with that standpoint.
Right.
However. We're not here to discuss politics.
No.
Right, exactly.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. I started to dive into that.
We can agree to disagree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having an opinion. We can all agree to disagree,
exactly,
but do it in a way that's sensible.
Yeah, exactly. If everybody could just act this way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would solve 75% of the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the case.
So,
I'm all about peace, love, and rock and roll.
There you go.
There you
go. I'm pretty similar.
That's a good model. So let me say this, okay? Since your sister saw, supposedly, she thinks that she saw your grandfather. Has she had any other experiences, or has she been able to Has she been contacted or anything like that?
If she has, she hasn't said anything to me about it, but
Okay.
she's more, she's fascinated by the paranormal, but she's also afraid. So,
Afraid. Okay.
she won't do anything unless I'm like there with her or someone, if she goes in a group or something. So I'm more brave in that aspect, but
Right.
like with Missouri Town when we went there, she was like, oh my God, I'm going to crap my pants, you know?
Right.
But,
Has she had
you
any, has she, okay, so we know about your experiences. Has she had any negative experiences happen to her? Is that why she's a little more frightened?
no, I don't think so.
Just kind of frightened in general by the whole thing then?
Well, somebody would.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Like me.
What about your mother or your grandmother?
My mom was a firm believer in paranormal as well.
Okay.
That was what I was going to ask. Besides your sister, now you mentioned your mother.
What about your grandmother?
who-
Did
who-
your
who-
grandma continue seeing your grandfather?
She really didn't say much about it. She was just okay, with it. She never really said, oh, that's your grandfather, or just that one time with the rocking chair experience. But other than
Right.
that, no, she never really called it out or anything.
So
But I can remember.
The thing I wanted to ask is, now we mentioned the grandmother. Anybody else in your family, even going back, do you know of
ancestor.
having paranormal experiences and things similar to what you had growing up?
No, I don't recall anyone in my family saying anything like that.
Wow.
To me, at least.
Maybe
So-
your mom might have had some
so-
experience when she was younger?
Possibly.
She's told me some stories.
Okay, so she has had some experiences.
It tends to
run in
be
the family.
almost like handed down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was curious about that part.
Right.
I know that for example, my grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
that unfortunately I never got to meet. He passed away 2 years before I was born.
Oh.
But he would always talk about strange and unusual things. I guess he was totally into it. And the one major thing he was into is that he said that he had witnessed a cigar-shaped UFO, I guess, and that is, he claimed to have had a picture of it, but nobody's ever seen it in the family. But he was big time into that,
Wow.
And,
Nice.
And then my mom, of course, is big time into that. I'm into it. You're into it.
Yeah.
So it's just. I guess it can run in the family, I suppose, but yeah. So
Then you guys are believers in aliens?
Yes.
Absolutely, but that's such a broad term. It's there is.
Okay, so then let's put it into context. Beings from another planet coming to Earth.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
There's multiple possibilities. So that one I cannot say yes or no to.
Or do you feel like they're more
I would say that there is some and multi-dimensional beings.
that's the word I was looking for, multidimensional.
Yep, that have learned how to utilize the power of, say, portals, and things like that.
People have come from the future.
Perhaps come from the future and things of that nature. But you see, there's different planes, of existence.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
we're on one plane, obviously, and, there could be somebody right now looking at me, trying to get my attention, and I just can't see them because they're on another plane, or they're in another, perhaps, universe that goes to the multi-universe theory, block theory.
Yep.
The more and more I have studied aliens, UFOs, UAPs,
And done research on it with
and
guests on the show.
Yeah,
Yep.
and actually being a lead news anchor for an alternative news program, I believe more in the multi-dimensional thing with portals being opened and these people understanding how to basically move about like that. Bend time from A to B.
Yeah.
Instead of having to travel it, you simply just bend A to B, and you get there.
Yeah, and they're coming in.
Again, time is a human construct.
You know, we really need to, as astronomers and stuff out there, they really need to study a little bit more into what exactly the black hole is. They think that, you know, it's a big, huge void, you know, and stuff like that, but no one has actually really gone down there or checked it out or anything like that. Right, exactly. But we should work on trying to get technology to do that. Not only that, we really need to study these wormholes more.
Right, yeah. Well, the other thing that I think
Get a message?
that no, somebody's been chatting in there though. But anyhow,
That was me. That was my messenger.
Oh, Jen got. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I saw that. I think I wrote back to you. Yeah. So I think the thing that we all need to be worried about coming up in the future, though, since we're talking about that, is the possibility of an X flare coming from the sun. At this point,
well, we all know the sun is dying.
It's
You know, and
it's still going to take millions and millions of years.
But shooting flares left and right and stuff like that.
That's only because of the climate. The climate. This is natural climate change. This is what the sun does for the next 11 years.
Yeah. So
we need to be very careful with the CMEs that are happening away.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of
the
auroras that we're having.
The lights are like insane.
Have you seen that, Cheryl?
They're absolutely beautiful.
I've seen that there's additional ones besides what's already there. I've seen pictures of the light.
Yeah.
It's like a white stripe going across. I've seen that.
Yep. It has.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, they're like greenish, white, and purple.
Yeah.
And you know, we see the northern lights. You know, up here. You know, we see them because it's upper Minnesota. You know, but these for the past couple of days have been extremely strong and bright. I mean, to the point where it's almost like it's becoming morning. You know, like when it starts like the sun comes up. So I'm going to say it right now. I think there's going to be another CME coming this week, and you know, I can't tell. The last one that came was called a cannibal. CME.
A cannibal, yeah.
So it ate the first.
It ate the first flare. The first flare that came out, it ate that
a couple
flare,
weeks ago,
and
if you recall.
And it grew like 10 times bigger,
and it got to the second largest possible C-class flare. And you know the thing about this is that you don't see that coming.
No.
So they've been shooting off that way, and at the last minute, the scientists and guys that have their cameras focused on the sun and such are seeing that behind them are bigger flares. Mm-hmm. So the worry here is that we think that maybe just a simple CME is coming, and behind it, could be like an X flare, like a class 4 X flare. You know, and that would literally be like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Knowing.
That mean eliminate us.
Yeah, it would just simply sanitize the planet. Like it would just literally burn our atmosphere off, burn the ground. No one would survive. You wouldn't be able to go underground.
But before that happens, I'm catching a ride to planet Zeteria.
Well, you know what I say, we're all going to die someday. You know,
we are, and yeah, I hate thinking about that. You know. I kind of like living, but
every day is one step closer to our death, you know, and it's how you live your life now is what's going to make a difference, usually.
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
So Kimmy wants to catch a ride with me too, right? Kimmy, if you're there, can you call in this time, or is everyone sleeping again?
Everybody's probably sleeping, I don't know. But we're coming up on a break. We're going to put you back on hold, and when we come back, we'll make sure that everybody knows where to go again, and we'll give our final thoughts and our goodbyes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, just wait one moment. Okay, folks, we are going to take our second break.
Woohoo!
We shall return with Cheryl Holland and, of course, DHP, a Darren Holland project. We got another song coming up by them. This is Night Talks Radio.
I was on a Paris train, and I emerged in London rain, and you were waiting there, swimming through apologies. I remember searching for the perfect words. I was hoping you might change your mind. I remember a soldier sleeping next to me, riding on the metro. You wore white, smiling as you took my hand. Snow removed, we spoke of winter time in France. Minutes passed with shallow words. Years have passed and still the hurt. I can see you now, smiling as I pulled away. I remember the letter Waco in my hand. I love you always through my eyes. I remember a night we walked along the sea, riding on the metro. I remember a feeling coming over me. The soldier turned and looked away. I remember hating you for loving me, riding on the metro. I'm alone, sitting with my empty glass. My four walls follow me through my past. I was on a Paris train, and I emerged in London rain, and you were waiting there, swimming through apologies. I remember searching for the perfect words. I was hoping that you might change your mind. I remember a soldier sleeping next to me, riding on the metro.
Want to reach Night Talks Radio? That's easy. Simply dial 1-507-384-9390. Or for first-time callers, just dial 1-507-307-4424. From somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Welcome back to Night Talks Radio, a special Labor Day night broadcast. This is, hello there. Cheryl is still with us, of course. And we have Jennifer with us still. The co-host.
Of course, I'm always
Thank
there.
goodness. But yes, we have Cheryl Holland with us tonight talking about paranormal stuff. And also the band that she is a part of, the Darren Holland Project. You just heard another song by them during break, Metro 2021.
Yes.
I believe is the title of the song. That was an interesting song. I liked it.
Yes. Now, Cheryl, I just want to ask you one question here, or I should actually ask Darren because he's the one who does the songwriting.
Well, I think she does too, doesn't she?
No, I
Cheryl?
think Darren's the only one who does it.
He's the only one?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it's all Darren. I mean, I put my input in every once in a while, but very, very rarely.
Gotcha.
So now, Darren, he normally writes about, what's going on in life today, everyday life, you know, and struggles that people go through and stuff. But he also says he talks about people that you guys meet. How does he write about people that you guys meet? What would a song be about something like that?
Well, it all depends on the person and the individual in question. I mean, he's been around so many people in his life. Let me get the phone to him.
Okay.
He could probably better answer that question.
Okay.
Can you ask it again?
Yeah, sure. So Darren, you talk about how you, like I said, you write about life and everyday struggles, but you also talk about how you write about people that you meet. How do you put that into a song?
How do I put it into a song?
Yeah.
It just comes. When you guys listened earlier to Sweet St. James, okay, I wrote it about friends of ours, and, well, he's gay.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And it's really written around St. James High School, which is where we went for 4 years. It was a Catholic all-boys high school.
Okay.
Okay. And you see, when I went there, I would get a certain amount of bullying because my two brothers are both mentally and physically disabled.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Wow.
So having him there was the ability for me not to get bullied as much. He started getting it.
Aww.
And we're talking back in the 80s, so it was different back then.
Right.
And you start looking at that stuff, and I'm sorry, a lot of stuff needs to change.
Yeah.
So when you listen to that song, realize it's that story. And it's the story of being taken down, bullied,
I'm glad that I know what it's truly
wow.
about now.
Yeah,
now I can
yeah,
listen to it
now,
again.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And now I understand.
So what exactly is Metro all about? Since we just listened to that,
Metro 2021.
No. Well, no, that's actually a cover song. We did that.
Song.
That's our only cover song that we do. It's from remember the band Berlin from the 80s?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yes.
On their first album
That's
was
right.
Metro.
That's right.
And it was just a killer song, and we really wanted to redo that.
Wow, I thought I know when I heard but I was obviously over there. I said, man, that sounds
So
that
then,
is awesome.
with the people you meet, you basically talk about like their personality kind of gets put into the song, maybe what they've experienced or anything like that gets put into a song. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If you can't tell by the way I'm talking, we are a very political band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And really it comes down to we want people from both sides to listen to what's going on in the songs.
Right, absolutely.
Because I know everyone can relate to something in these songs.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even though I'm sitting here telling you, let's be serious. The whole gay community's up on the chopping block with the Supreme Court the way it is right now. Okay, so when you start looking at that type of stuff, look at it. Look at the big picture of every part of it.
Right.
You know?
Have you ever
Right.
thought about going beyond music and writing like a book?
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I haven't gone any farther with it. I'd actually started back in the 90s writing a book of poetry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a book would definitely explain
A lot.
Much better than obviously the song is good as well, but yeah, a book of your thoughts would be interesting. As far as I don't want, like I said, we don't want to get too political, but as far as the LGBT community and whatnot, I think I really think the gays and lesbians that have been around for quite a while and whatnot and do things normal and they're every day. I've had plenty of friends
Oh yeah.
And whatnot. I don't think they really like what is happening with this whole LGBTQ movement. They're being pulled into the spotlight, and they really don't want to be a part of some of the kind of craziness that's going on with all that.
Yeah, I think they just want to be kind of left alone and live their own life.
I personally know a few that say that they are not. They're not trying to put a spotlight on themselves.
Yeah.
They're not trying to put themselves on a pedestal. They just want to live their life and be happy.
Yep.
But with the movement that's going on now, it seems like it is almost making a mockery of being that way.
Yep.
No, there's tons of them out there that are either being beaten or killed by idiots.
Now, are you talking? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about the gay community, and you're talking about LGBTQ. That they don't want to get out there right now and say something. Oh yeah, with the Supreme Court's decision coming up, every single one of them will be out there voting. It's the same way with the women right now. They will be out because of the Roe thing. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is not good for the country whatsoever.
Well, my particular thoughts is the Biden administration is not very good for the country overall. I think that's.
I think the Biden administration is absolutely the best thing out there. Oh. I think the criminal that was there we know what's going down with everything with that. I think they're absolutely right, but then again, I knew about him when I was a kid, and he destroyed Atlantic City and used eminent domain to get the kids out. It's why Sesame Street in 1999 did a skit about Donald the Grump. So look at the big picture of it all. The guy is not out for anybody's good. At least Biden is out there trying to do the right thing. I mean, his veterans bill absolutely needed to get through, and the Republicans blocked it, the first time it was going through. Start looking at that stuff. I'm gonna have to. Then I hear.
That's where we disagree.
Hold on.
We're going to disagree a little bit.
TikTok.
But you are welcome to your own opinion.
Well, yeah, of course, everybody's welcome to their own opinion.
I want to ask one thing real quick before Daniel chimes in. Do you think that what they are doing, introducing sex at a very young age to children,
they're not. Our daughter is 12 years old in school, and they do not introduce sex to children at a very young age. That's actually fake news.
No. He's trying to do that.
To be dead honest, you guys know that stuff is fake news. No. You really don't want to talk about these things with us because, seriously, we do have differing opinions.
No, we do have different opinions, and
and I understand
we don't.
completely. I'm just trying to get your idea of what he is doing with destroying the school system. You think that is right?
Wait, who's destroying the school systems? Wait a minute. First off,
I think.
Okay,
I think before this gets out of hand, guys.
Every Republican state out there is not paying enough to their teachers. Missouri is one of the lowest pay for teachers, and it's one of the reasons that teachers are getting up and leaving the state. It's happening in Texas. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's because of each state's Republican House and their little house. It does not. If you want to believe the other way, just really go out and read and look at everything, and then tell me you still believe. But honestly, being a non-believer here, I can believe in the ghost, Bigfoot, and the UFOs before I can believe that a Republican is going to do an actual damn thing for anybody besides the 1%.
Yeah, we're gonna since the show is just about we were talking about paranormal.
Let's go back.
We are indeed gonna steer away from that subject because it will be a losing battle for
Here, you want to talk
for
to
what
Cheryl?
you were saying. So let's move away from that. And how about you guys go ahead and once again tell everybody where they can find you, your music.
Okay,
again.
hold on a minute. I'm going to give you to Cheryl.
Okay.
All right.
Tell them where they can find us.
Hello?
Okay, we're going to steer away from the political talk.
Yeah.
Just as you said before, we're going to, disagree, agree to disagree.
Yep.
I just want to have you get out where people can find you once more, and where do they can they purchase your music or whatnot or things like that?
Absolutely.
On Spotify.
On Spotify and all that?
Yep. If you go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Music, iTunes. We're on all digital platforms. The Darren Holland Project. Our music is for sale there.
Okay.
You can buy the entire album, or you can buy singles, whatever. It's there.
How many albums do you guys have?
That are available on Spotify. What is it? 5?
Wow.
That's
Darren?
What's that?
How many albums we have? I don't remember. I'm old, remember?
There's 3 on our
There's 3 right now currently.
on our Spotify and a whole bunch of singles.
Yeah, there's 3 currently on Spotify and a whole bunch of singles.
Okay, great. So people can go there and buy there, and then, of course, the Facebook page. So that's going to be great. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? We had a great time with you tonight. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you said you had to get up early tomorrow, so I really appreciate you coming on and giving us your time and
sharing
talking.
your experiences, yes.
Absolutely. Your
Absolutely, anytime. I had a ball.
Yeah,
It was a
we
blast.
did as well. And, so you have a wonderful evening, and tell Darren we said bye-bye, and we shall hopefully talk
Absolutely.
later. And
Thank you so much again for playing our music.
absolutely,
You're welcome.
and we'll keep if you have new music coming out or anything like that, we'll throw it on for you. Just send it to us, and we'll get you on another new music now. So.
Absolutely, thank you. That's
Okay.
great.
You're welcome. You
All
guys
right.
have a wonderful night now, and thanks for coming on once again.
Yep.
You two guys, stay safe.
Okay.
You too.
Bye bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was Cheryl Holland. Ooh, at the end of that conversation,
Yeah, I would have to.
I'm gonna have to
disagree.
let Darren know that you don't want to get into a political conversation with me.
No, especially
so,
when our show is conservative in the first
we're
place.
extremely conservative, and I am sad to say, Darren, you are brainwashed quite badly.
Oh yes.
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that's why
our whole school system is falling apart really fast, and it is the Biden administration that has to do with it. Yes,
has caused every single problem that we have, and I mean I'm being nice.
Yeah.
By saying that. So
It's sad. It's
yeah.
sad. Our little ones are getting affected really bad.
Yeah, our children, for them not to, I mean, well, this is what Biden wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted his supporters to believe this. That's why it's blasted to him every day. I mean, you just look at his speech in Philadelphia on Thursday night. I mean, he's essentially telling leftists to go out and cause violence again and go after conservatives and this and that. But the good thing about that is that we all know that the Republicans are going to win Congress in November, and then, of course, hopefully we either have Trump or Ron DeSantis, or maybe like a Candace Owens or something like that, winning the White House in November of 2024. And then we'll have full control of the government once again. And I'll tell you right now, every single thing that was passed by Biden will be eliminated. Eliminated, just like he did to all Trump's wonderful policies that were doing excellent for the United States. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science.
No, you can look at the statistics and everything like that and see exactly what Trump did versus what Biden's done. And you will see the big, huge difference that Trump had America in the best heart and the best mind.
Well, what you're trying to say is, he had America in his heart and his mind. But the left has been traditionally known, to be elitist, just money, money, money. They purposely worked with Chinese nationals to release, this pandemic. That's why the Hong Kong protest instantly ended the pro-American protest. But, and again, you're seeing it now. They have look at what Biden and his regime has done in the past 2 years. Look how bad people are suffering. And it's funny to me that people still on the left bring up Trump.
Right.
That somehow he has caused this. No. Your president for 2 years now has caused this. Prior to Biden, America was doing the best that it has ever done in a very long time. And now it is going to take a very long time to dig out of this shithole that the Biden regime has created for everybody.
Yeah, I honestly think that what we need to do is we need to divide the school system. I mean, we need to put...
Well, that's what they're pushing. I mean, they're pushing us back in time. What they're doing.
Yeah, I know that, but we need to divide it where, transgenders, gays, and lesbians or whatever, if they want to stay, together and everything like that, then they should go to school together. And those people who don't want anything to do with it, then they should go to school together. I think that's the way it should be, honestly, because who's to say that you go to school, okay, and there is a transgender person there, okay, and the kids don't know about it. The young kids, they don't know about that kind of thing. But if they say the wrong thing to offend that person and everything, there's going to be a big, huge school battle you will not even believe. It's just not
like
right.
I said, the Biden administration is moving us back in time.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what you just said. But it's based off what's happening, what the regime is causing. They are causing division. Yep. They are causing these issues. Having children, without your authority, being told, well, they're a girl inside or they're a boy inside. We're going to start doing surgeries on them and changing them. These surgeries that actually kill, within 10 to 15 years. And the medicine that they're given also causes multiple problems, chemical problems in their brain, and that's where you get the suicide rate from, and the confusion. But it is. I mean, it's a long. We could sit here all day and discuss this, but right now, the Biden administration, anybody who supports the left, essentially. It's getting out of hand. It really is, and I don't have negative thoughts towards people that may support the left, but I definitely I cannot come close to agreeing with what they have to say or what they think is true. But it's simple division again. It's we're being pushed backwards, and it's to the point where there is going to be separation again. There's going to be multiple people separating. You could be looking at civil war, to be honest. In the next couple of years. So it's really just a messed up scenario, any way you look at it. But yeah, unfortunately, some people do believe that Biden somehow is some sort of savior, when in reality he is destroying the country. So, but that battle is still going to go on for a while, at least until November, when the right regains control of Congress, and hopefully we can get things back on track before this country is turned fully socialist. But nonetheless, we had a great episode tonight talking about the paranormal with Cheryl Holland and hearing some great music from the Darren Holland Project once again. So we had a great Labor Day night. Night Talks Radio. We shall see you next weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
cycle in life, you're gonna get through this and be better by night. Loss is hard, it'll definitely take some time, but good days are on the way, let your own light shine. Slowly goes down. Now you're gone, no trace left.
for Night Talks Radio. Tonight's very special guest, Cheryl Holland, the beautiful Jennifer Gregerson. Tonight's NTR New Music Now guests, the Darren Holland Project, Spreaker.com, and of course Art Bell for inspiring so many people, including us here at Night Talks Radio. And me, Daniel Brewer, saying until the next Night Talks Radio, stay safe and remember, they are listening. So long, everybody.